All right, here's another equation, but it has a bunch of fractions. So we're going to do just one part at a time. The first thing we have to do is get rid of the 1/3. So I will say minus 1/3 on both sides. This, of course, goes away. Now, what I have here is 2.5 take away 1/3. I can do this a bunch of different ways, but I think what I'll do is turn that mixed number into an improper fraction. So I will say 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 halves take away 1/3. Now that will equal, I have to change my common denominator. I'm going to say 6. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So 3 times 5 is 15. I will say 3 goes into 6 times 2. I'll multiply it by 2, so I multiply the top by 2. 15 take away 2 is 13 over 6. And for right now, I'm going to leave that. All right, so now I have 3/4 x equals 13 over 6. Now, all I do is divide by 3/4 on both sides. Remember, this is a division sign. Okay, this goes away. Now I have x equals 13 over 6 divided by 3/4, which really means 13 over 6 times 4 over 3. Now I can reduce this a little bit by dividing by 2 in both sides. Whoops. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. All right, 13 times 2 is 26. And 3 times 3 is 9. When I divide 9 into 26, I get 2, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 8 ninths. My final answer is 2 and 8 ninths. Let me remind you of something. If I have 3 and 1/4, and I want to turn that into an improper fraction, again, I can say to myself, how many fourths are in 3 whole things? How many fourths are in 3 whole things? Well, I would just say 3 times 4, and that's 12. Plus 1 is 13/4. So the way to remember it is 4 times 3 plus 1. So let's try another one. 7 and 2/5. Turn that into an improper fraction. 5 times 7 is 35. 36, 37/5. One more. Let's go 8 and 2/3. Turn that into an improper fraction. 3 times 8 is 24. 25, 26. 26/3. And if you turn it into improper fractions, it's easier to work with on your thing. Let's do one more real quick. Let's go 1/5 x plus 2/3 equals 1/2. All right, so I'm going to say minus 2/3 minus 2/3. This goes away. Now, 1/2 minus 2/3. My common denominator has to be 6. 2 times 3 is 6, so I have to go 1 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, so I have to go 2 times 2 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7 over 6. Again, I'm going to leave that for a minute. So I'm going to say 1/5 x equals 7 over 6. Now I'm going to divide by 1/5. Okay, that goes away. So now I have x equals 7/6 divided by 1/5, but I have to change that. 7/6 times 5/1 is 35/6. 6 goes into 35 5 times, with a remainder of 5. 5 and 5, 6. So my answer is, I hope you write it better than I did, 5 and 5, 6.